Hello, friends. Welcome to In My Car, coming to you live at 3:33 in the afternoon. I'm on Monkland Boulevard, waiting to go get my haircut. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this moppity moppity mop mop! Look at this moppity mop mop! Sunglasses on or sunglasses off? I don't know. You guys tell me which you prefer. I think I'm going to take them off. Okay, let's do it. Let's take them off. So welcome back to My Car. Good to be with you on this Mail It In Wednesday. Lots of fun on the TSN 690 morning show with my pal Simon Salikas, having lots of fun on the afternoon and the early mornings on TSN 690. We're going to be going to Tulsa, Oklahoma at 6:35 tomorrow, getting set right for the PGA Championship. Is this the major that Jordan Spieth can finally win to wrap up the career Grand Slam? Jordan Spieth in a marquee group with Tiger Woods tomorrow and Rory McIlroy. Can't wait for that. Jordan Spieth, here's the thing about Spieth, right? I would sprinkle a little money on Jordan Spieth to win the PGA Championship at Southern Hills starting tomorrow morning because he's putting so well. He was gaining strokes on the field with his flat stick where he finished T2 at the Byron Nelson. So expect full coverage on the TSN 690 morning show Thursday through Friday, and we'll do a full recap with Johan Benson of RDS. Fantastic. This guy caddied on the PGA Tour for a long time. He's one of the best players to come out of this province. He's the reigning PGA of Quebec Player of the Year. The man can hit the ball a country mile, and it's always a good time when I have the opportunity to speak to my boy Johan Benson. So we'll do that tomorrow morning on TSN 690 at 6:35. But I want to get to Don Cherry. Have you guys noticed Don Cherry is trending on Twitter? Why is Don Cherry trending on Twitter? For a couple of different reasons. He's been passed over for the Order of Canada again. And as a direct result, Don Cherry is making news, and he's also talking about the fact that, and I'm not going to disagree with Don here, but I'm going to go at him in a minute. Him and Ron McLean have burnt that bridge. They will never be friends again. And you can find him online. Search Don Cherry on Twitter, and you're going to find some of the audio sound bites of Don Cherry talking about the fact that he's hurt. His feelings are hurt. Don feels betrayed by Ron McLean, and I totally understand that. I really don't think Don's wrong to feel that way about his lifelong friend. But the thing is, and I remember kind of getting some of this feedback when Chris Nyland left Bell Media about teamwork and Chris would have laid his life on the line for you guys, so to speak, being dramatic, right? I can't say that's not true, but I think it's highly unlikely. How many people are giving up careers for honor, right? It doesn't really exist in 2022, and to think otherwise, I think is a bit naive. And I'm glad to see Nyland on his feet. I'm glad to see Nyland playing golf. I ran into him at the golf course last week. He's doing well. It's good to see him. His podcast is taking off, and he's had some really good interviews. So give him a follow and see what he's up to. Keep tabs on Habs legend Chris Nyland. But I want to tell you that I'm not blaming Ron McLean for not lying down and sacrificing his career for his buddy, Don Cherry. At the end of the day, if you're not looking out for yourself, who's going to be looking out for you? But I don't have a problem with Don Cherry being passed over for the Order of Canada, quite simply for the reason that Don Cherry just doesn't represent the Canada that I know, the Canada that I experience on a day-to-day basis, and the Canada that I love more than any other country in the world. And I think I've been very consistent on this. And I remember talking and arguing with Elliot Price back in the day on Team 990, TSN 690, right? It drove me, guys, up the wall when Don Cherry would butcher names, right? Lalongo. Couldn't say fucking Roberto Luongo's name. Lalongo. Or heaven forbid, it was like a French-Canadian guy. Patrice Brisebois. Guy couldn't say fucking Patrice Brisebois' name. Why? Because he's a xenophobic racist. And I don't have any, I just have 20 years of watching Don Cherry spit this shit out on national television forever, and everybody gobbled it up. I hated it from the jump. I hated how anti-French he was. Remember when Sidney Crosby was playing for the Rimouski Oceanic in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League? Remember Don Cherry took a collective shit on Sidney Crosby for choosing the Q instead of playing on the Ontario Hockey League. Why? Because that's how he feels, because he hates Quebec. And he doesn't like the rest of Canada unless you're from Kingston, unless you're Dougie Gilmore or Bobby Orr, or you guys are from Red Deer, Alberta, right? Like, Don Cherry has no time for anybody that doesn't think like him, doesn't talk like him, and most definitely doesn't look like him. And it drove me bananas for the entire time. And I don't want to be hypocritical. Like, when I was growing up as a kid, before I learned better, Don Cherry was the go-to guy. When Don Cherry spoke about hockey, Don Cherry was great. And Don Cherry paid such great honor, such tributes to the Canadian military. But it's not all roses, and it's not all worthy of the honor of Canada. And that's why he's trending on Twitter today. Never forget how Don Cherry treated European hockey players, how he looked at them, how he shunned them, how he mocked them, how he would purposely butcher their family names and bring disrespect to their name and bring ultimately disrespect to the game of hockey. Why? Because Don Cherry's a dinosaur, guys. Don Cherry never evolved from his thinking of being the coach of the Boston Bruins. Never evolved of his thinking of, well, you got to fight all the time, right? Never evolved beyond that point. And it just carried on. And the older he got, the more set in his ways he became. And he became this kind of sideshow, kind of freak show. Ooh, what's Don going to say next? And is that worthy of a national tribute? The amount of disrespect he put on so many people for so many years, and everyone turned the other cheek to it more often than not. And I'm glad the buck has stopped, and people have finally realized, oh my God, is this bus going to hit me? People have finally realized what a crock it was for so long, and most people have evolved. So I'm put me in the category and dump on me all you want. You know, if your opinion differs from mine, so be it. It's fine. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to dump on you. But I'm here to tell you, Don Cherry's trending on Twitter, and these are the reasons why. So, you know, depending on what side of the fence you're on, Don Cherry doesn't represent the Canada that I know. And, you know, being one of the few Anglophones left in La Belle Province, even though the most of our government doesn't want us here, I'm going to defend Quebecers. I'm going to defend the amount of disrespect this guy put on Quebec hockey players forever, man. Like, I just hated it. And people thought I was a shtick. It was a shtick. It was never a shtick. That's who he was. And he has such a passionate fan base. Such a passionate fan base. Like, search Don Cherry's name on Twitter right now. Leave the podcast. I got a bunch of people watching me live, or I got 5 people watching me live. Leave it and go search him and go see what people are saying. Right? Go see what they're saying about he's better. He's done more for Canada than Justin Trudeau ever has. Like, exaggerate to make a point, maybe. You know, you do you, right? But every time I think of Don Cherry, every time I see this guy's name trending, it just sends me to like red line. I've never really been a fan past the age of 10 years old. Once I realized what type of person was trying to grow the game of hockey. You know, it was Canada or bust. Outside of Quebec, obviously, right? Like, clearly, and especially. But he's just not the order of Canada that I know and that I want representative of my country. We had some fun on the morning show today. And sometimes I wonder about a few things, right? We created a fun hypothetical on the morning show today. We talked about the Canadians having the first round pick. We talked about the Canadians July 7th at the Bell Center picking first overall. And the scenario of, what if they decide internally that Shane Wright isn't for them? Their scouts, all of their guys say, no. Shane, I think we should do something other than draft Shane Wright. So the hypothetical we presented was, what if the Canadians, what would you prefer? The Canadians trade down instead of drafting Shane Wright with number 1 overall? Or they stay at number 1 and draft someone other than Shane Wright? And what I found interesting in this little experiment of ours, in this fun hypothetical of what if, which would you rather, some people chose to dump on the question and look at it as, why are you guys doing this? What are you creating? Why are you planting seeds of doubt? I mean, first of all, I'd like to address that comment by simply saying thank you for thinking that the TSN 690 morning show is that important and that big time. Look, in my head it is, but in reality, I know what the conversations we're having on the air have no correlation to decisions the Montreal Canadiens front office makes. And, you know, the job in radio, especially the talk format, is to have something to say, is to have a point of view, is to think about other angles and differing approaches and what might be, what could be. Look, if you ask me today, what are the Canadians likely to do on July 7th when it's their turn with the number 1 overall pick? I would bet a good chunk of real dollars that they're going to keep the number 1 pick and with that pick choose Shane Wright. That's my educated guess. I don't have any concrete evidence to back that up other than he's Shane Wright. He has been the consensus #1 overall pick, and the Montreal Canadiens need another center, a good 200-foot player that adds great depth to the Montreal Canadiens. So, that's what I think they're going to do, but they might not do that. They may trade it. And here's the other fun little wrinkle to that, right? The Edmonton Oilers, my friends, and Calgary Flames meet up in the playoffs in the Battle of Alberta for the first time since 1991. And are you cheering for Connor McDavid? Do you want Connor McDavid to win a Stanley Cup? Were you happy to see Sidney Crosby win the Stanley Cup? I'd love to see Connor McDavid win the Stanley Cup. I'd love to be able to watch every minute of this series and the opportunity to watch this kid play unbelievably well, but it could come at a price. It could come at a steep price, actually. Remember when the Montreal Canadiens traded Brett Kulak to the Edmonton Oilers and they got a second-round pick in exchange? They're going to lose that pick if the Edmonton Oilers make it to the Stanley Cup final, you guys. Uh-oh. So a fun little wrinkle to pay attention to if you're counting draft picks that the Montreal Canadiens potentially could have July 7th and July 8th when they host the draft here. So that's something to pay attention to. Would you rather see Connor McDavid win the Stanley Cup than the Montreal Canadiens get the second-round pick they got in the deal for Brett Kulak? Yeah, sure, why not? Hockey will be better with Connor McDavid as the champ. Hockey will be better with Connor McDavid marketed as a Stanley Cup champ for the first time in his life. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Staying with the consistent theme, if you're putting a few dollars down, I got Calgary to win this series. The other fun little added wrinkle that happened in the Tampa Bay Florida game last night was Anthony Duclair opens the scoring for the Panthers, and then bing, bang, boom, the Tampa Bay Lightning just whitewash him. Andrei Vasilevsky, strong in goal. The Florida Panthers are 0 for the playoffs on the power play, guys. They're like 0 for 13 on the power play, 0.0%. Ouch. You're not going to win any games doing that. And part of me wonders about, if the Florida Panthers can't get timely goal scoring and the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have no panic in their game whatsoever, I think they faced every possible scenario, down goals, up goals, blown leads, shutouts, blowouts, you name it. They've done it all. There's no panic. There's no panic. And even though they got Kucherov performing well, they got 2 points from Corey Perry. Nick Paul and the depth of the Tampa Bay Lightning is just so impressive. And the lack of panic, I think, might create a short series. I want to give the Florida Panthers a little bit of credit, but if they can't get anything on the power play, here's what's likely to happen. The Tampa Bay Lightning are just going to run roughshod over Florida. And what's Florida going to do? Are they going to lose their minds? Are they going to retaliate? And if Tampa could take advantage of a lackluster Florida power play, then not only does the physical element come in, the intimidation angle, I think, plays a role here too. And this might create a very short series, which would be the perfect scenario, really, if you think about it, for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who come in as defending Stanley Cup champs. Imagine a scenario where they go the distance with Toronto and then go 4 or 5 games with the Florida Panthers. I mean, that is, I would guess, John Cooper's best case scenario. I don't see a sweep happening, but I could see this second round series in the all Florida affair being done in 5 games. So very exciting times. I mean, the sports landscape, guys, is absolutely slammed night in and night out. 2 NHL playoff games. You had 1 game from the association last night where Jimmy Butler just cracked Jason Tatum to give the Miami Heat a 1-0 series lead over the Boston Celtics. We're in the Eastern Conference Final. We have the PGA Championship. Pro Golf's second major of the year gets underway tomorrow. Tiger Woods looks fresh. Tiger Woods says he's healthier than he was at the Masters and feels better than he did back in April at the first Masters at Augusta National in Georgia. So looking forward to that. We'll be glued to it. Blanket coverage on TSN 690. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. And obviously, the other big story from the world of the PGA Tour was Phil Mickelson withdrawing his name from defending his title at the PGA Championship. So he's not at Southern Hills in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 50-year-old became the oldest guy to ever win a major title when he won the Wanamaker last year. It's a bit of a shame that he's not going to be there. And this coming from, Phil Mickelson. I'm not the biggest Phil guy in the world, but nevertheless, I don't think because he made a bad decision and said some truly awful things that he should be blackballed and serve basically the death penalty from the PGA Tour. So I wonder what's going to happen there, and ultimately what his future looks like as far as future prospects on the PGA Tour. You know, you put me in the same camp as guys like Justin Thomas, as guys like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods. Dumb things to say, yes, but certainly not worthy of the death penalty. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it, all that fun stuff. Let's grow this bad boy together. In the Car with Star, presented as always by K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. Now, I've been telling you since early winter about gas prices and what was happening. It's come true. Gas is probably going to be locked in at $2.20 a liter in the next week or two, and it's probably going to stay there for a little bit. But you don't have to worry about paying those big fat prices at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawagi. So go check them out. Tell them In the Car with Star sent you. You save so much if you think about going to K-Stop Gas Bar. No taxes, cheaper gas. Outstanding snack selection, by the way, when you walk through the front door, because they have somebody there that will pump the gas for you. So you don't have to worry about you don't have to dirty your hands. You got the smelly gas fingers and all that stuff. You can spend some time, get some good snacks, some good beverages, prepared meals if you go there during the day, hot, fresh, cooked daily on site, and a variety of menu selections Monday through Friday. Proud sponsors of In the Car with Star. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the radio, bright and early, 6 a.m. Me and my boy Simon Salikas as we get set for the PGA Championship. We'll be going there with Johan Benson at 6:30 tomorrow morning.